the best thing that I think Grok can provide currently, in my opinion, based on my experience with it, is financial analysis. So if you have cash flow statement, if you have some budgeting that you need to do, some main investment opportunities, obviously we have to consult with an expert to stay compliant. But it's always a good idea to have a second eye. Gemini is so good at image generation and video generation. These two, I am so impressed.
It's crazy. You know what is, you know what it does for me now? It says, okay, Steve, I'm going to provide you an answer without any bullshit. He uses those words, no bullshit, straight to the point, as you like it, because I challenged him so much. If you're enjoying the content, go ahead and click the like button, because we like to know that the content brings value to you.
If you want more tips, stories, and real talks like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification button. That way, we will always be the first who will know that a new episode just dropped.
We really appreciate you being here. Let's keep learning and growing together. Hello, everyone. Hi, Mo. How are you today? Do you have your famous phrase that you tell everybody? Ellie.
It's a beautiful day to be alive.
Yeah, it's part of the podcast now. So today is a topic that is very interesting because, I mean, as you know, there is a race right now. It's a race, a war, whatever you want to call it. But the big AI players, I'm talking about ChatGPT, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Grok. Maybe I'm missing, maybe others are doing like even open source stuff as well. Copilot from Microsoft is going strong. So the goal today is we try to do that within 20 minutes, my friend. Try to cover all of them based on our opinion. So I made a list here. So let's go with the most popular one on statistics because they've been the first. OpenAI, ChatGPT 5.1 as we are talking today. So how do you use it? And what do you believe, based on your experience, are the strengths of ChatGPT 5.1?
Absolutely, Steve. In terms of ChatGPT 5.1, the main thing that I notice, it is a great tool to challenge your ideas. You have an idea, you have a project, you have something that you're working on. If you can prompt it to challenge you, please, moving forward, anything that I say, challenge me based on facts and search results. It will challenge your ideas. It will face you head on, and it will tell you exactly if something doesn't make sense. And this is something that I noticed because so many times I think that I have learned, let's say, a new language, a new tool, a new programming paradigm. And my learning, Steve, is a little bit missing some points. And if you don't ask ChatGPT 5.1 to challenge you, it will be very reinforcing. Good job. You're doing an amazing job. Amazing. Wow, you already know this? This is great. But you're laughing, Steve. Is there a story there?
It brings me crazy. It's crazy. You know what is, you know what it does for me now? It says, okay, Steve, I'm going to provide you an answer without any bullshit. He uses those words, no bullshit, straight to the point, as you like it, because I challenged him so much. And I put it in my description that right now he's going straight to the point and he's still doing some flattering comment. I said, hey, be objective, be straight, because at the end of the day, I can base some business decisions on somebody who wants to just talk about or flatter my ego. We don't want that. So how do you use it? Yeah, but that's a great thing because it's, I don't know why, but I think it's getting more and more positive. It's good for the people, but we need to be realistic. So how do you use it, ChatGPT, very short, Mo?
Mainly, Steve, as a learning tool and as a challenging tool, as you said, to challenge some of my ideas and decisions. So let's say, for example, I will take a decision about a certain project I'm working on. So I'm working on an application for a client, and I don't know if I should use technology A or technology B or technology C, and all of them, they are quick to develop. I already know them, but there is benefit, let's say, for the industry. Let's say finance, you need to have more security. Real estate, you need to follow some compliance, some guidelines. So I try to challenge it to give me the best technology that will enable me to avoid headaches in the future once the application is developed, so I can stay compliant, I can stay under perhaps following the best rules, the best regulations from the start. Because I noticed so many times you develop something, then you start adding plugins, then you start adding some stuff just to be compliant, just to be secure, just to be in a good space. So I'm more of a technical user in terms of that paradigm, if you will. But Steve, back at you, man. How do you use it on a daily basis?
I'm using it to prepare marketing strategies. I'm using it with my customers. An approach, I like to build systems and to keep it simple for everybody. A nice trick, and I'm sure some of the people already know that, but let's share it just to make sure. I'm creating projects. I mean, project example is STEMG's customers, and the chat are per customer, so it keeps track
Ah.
of what it is. So this way, if I refer to something, I don't need to rewrite the prompt. I'm just saying, okay, talking about this financial institution, I don't want to name it. So can you just go? So basically, it's like somebody that was talking like 3 weeks ago, and I just start to chat again, like if it was a few minutes ago. So this way,
Wow.
I can be very effective and challenge myself, challenge it, and come up with different ideas on writing stuff. I'm using it to write proposals, very, very effective. And the way I do that with any LLMs is going like, you talk about the overall thing, like I do proposal myself, but you don't ask an LLM to build something like entirely at once. This is my experience, because
Mm.
it's kind of having a limit of time. It's going to be like not good enough in age, and sometimes you ask something short and it's too lengthy for a short answer. So what I do is say, okay, let's build the synopsis or the table of contents together. Boom, 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 boom. And okay, now let's go like block by block. And sometimes what it does on the second or third block is going to repeat the same sentence as it did on the first block. I said, make
Mm.
sure you go back in time and you don't repeat the stuff, blah, 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 except if it's so you need to guide it. So it takes sometimes to create a nice proposal, but it's a winning proposal. But the thing is, I don't need to write the text. I don't need to make those links. And if I say, oh, change this word everywhere, I don't need to do a find and replace in Word. It does it entirely. And I'm always using like either OneNote or Word beside, and I'm bringing stuff in, because you can lose, and it's only a chat, but it's for all of them. You can lose track of what's being built, and I don't trust it to remember everything, because sometimes it reinvents what it did, but I liked what it did in the past. So I copy paste in the
Mm.
OneNote, and I said, okay, can you refresh me? And sometimes it's not the same. I said, okay, I'm going to refresh you. Here are my notes from you. Oh, okay. So basically, I don't trust, because it doesn't keep everything in memory. Not everything. It keeps like main components. So we have to be careful. So this one is very generic
Mm.
to all LLMs. So this is what I learned over the years regarding LLMs.
Wow, Steve, your approach is very nice. I agree with you 100%. And when you were talking, something came to mind, because I had so many conversations with some of my friends and people that I work with. And we had a discussion, and I think you're the perfect person for that discussion, especially in our podcast. Some people say, and I'm going to keep it general, that if you work on the proposal from scratch, you know what you're writing. So you know that you did not miss anything. But when you use an AI, the review time is more than writing it from scratch. Do you agree or disagree?
If it is a 2-pager, I would say you can ask the LLM to do everything, or you can do it yourself, or having a few lines that say elaborate. There are
Mhm.
many angles to the answer, but to the question and the answer. Uh, because I mean, yesterday I did a test. I did a test
Okay.
to record a video on my French channel, and it was okay. I wrote a line. I need to have a CRM. It's in OneNote, and I use Copilot. And Copilot said, okay, just define a project to implement a CRM. Boom. It went so lengthy, it was the equivalent of 2 pages. I know there are no
Wow.
pages in OneNote, but just looking at it, I said, it looks like 2 pages on a project. But if an employee brings that to his or her boss, that's a bit of BS, because it's too detailed, it's not clear. So we have to be careful what it generates. And but the thing is, I did another proposal lately about having 3 axes, like first phase, second phase, third phase, and subdividing like those phases in sub phases and everything. So, wow, it was very complex. And I had it in my head, but having the things all being well linked and coherent, was kind of a challenge for me a
Mm.
bit and also for the LLM. So, you know what? You can feel it. You try it, and if it takes too long, you can change it. But again, you are an expert in prompting. If you don't prompt well, you're going to waste your time a lot. You need to be precise about what to do, what not to do, and making sure there is no BS in between. So again, it's a co-pilot thing. So but yeah, that's a great question. So, and perhaps we can not diverge, but jump onto Copilot, which is like was using only or still using only OpenAI ChatGPT,
Yes,
and now
sir.
they have a deal with Anthropic. So let's focus on Copilot as a tool, which is a different context. It's in the MS365 universe, and even more with Copilot Studio. What's your take on Copilot based on your experience?
I think it's an amazing tool, especially because, as you said, Steve, they have a new partnership with Anthropics, which will enable us to switch between models. I think anybody currently in the marketplace will enable people to switch. You go from one model to another because nowadays, Steve, and I'm not sure, maybe this is something that you have experience with. If there is a tool where you can start with one model, switch to another one, then switch to another one from different companies. That's going to be a powerful, powerful tool out there. Currently, the way that I use Copilot is mainly for digital marketing strategies. So I ask it about digital marketing strategies, tips, some ideas for posts, some ideas for emails. So it's so, so good at doing that. And I know for a fact that it's based on ChatGPT. I just like the interface. It's a beautiful interface. It's a really clean one. I love it. They make it easy in if you have a Windows computer. And also, I also started using a little bit of the audio features. I don't know if you played with the features a little bit, Steve, where you can generate audio based on some text that you get from a response, and that audio can be exported and you can use it locally in your computer. So I see that they have a lot of new tools that are in beta that you can play with, use, experiment with. And Microsoft is pushing hard to make Copilot part of the OS itself. So you have
Yeah.
it, you need it, it's part of your day. Either you use it or lose it.
Yeah, for the best or the bad is going to be there, but that's a good thing because I think right now it seems I feel they are a bit behind overall in terms of general chatting because the example they are at 5.0, OpenAI is at 5.1, which they are the
Mhm.
creators. So in that, and they don't develop their own thing, so it's not they are not in the war of this. They are in the war of agentic AI, but then having
Correct.
something
Yep.
beside because the way I use it to answer the question you didn't ask, but I will, is I'm using it in different tool because that's the beauty of it. You in Outlook, they said, okay, make a summary of this email and document, write a reply. Okay, good, perfect. Change this, boom,
Mm.
send it. So I save a lot of time and something,
Wow.
some things I started to use as well because I'm a big fan of OneNote now. And OneNote, you have like notebooks in OneNote. Now they have Copilot notebooks, which is interesting as well. There is a bit of some Microsoft Loop stuff like Notion AI within it, but you can really craft different things. And from that, you can send that to Word, and in Word, you can have a final document. So it's like very good to do that, in my opinion. So in terms of being respectful of the time that I put pressure on us about is you said that Microsoft with Copilot had some beta stuff. Google has a lot of beta products. I mean, we cannot talk about all of them now, but let's focus on the big friend and the main one, Gemini, which is almost everywhere. I have it in my home with the Home Assistant, early
Nice.
adopter, and I'm using it as well in the car with my Android Auto. Yes, I'm an Android guy. And
Let's go.
also and also in terms of using it with the browser because I'm using Google Chrome as of now. Maybe switch to Edge. Don't know yet. But what about you and Gemini? What is your relationship with Gemini?
Man, it's an amazing relationship. Gemini is so good at image generation and video generation. These two, I am so impressed. The quality of the video, Steve, the quality of the images. Right now, anytime I need an image in my digital marketing campaigns, I don't look around, I don't go through, because as you know, Steve, free copyrighted images are online. So you can find those, you can use them, or you can even pay to use images in a commercial sense. So there are many ways to get some images that will fulfill your idea so you can have a beautiful advertisement campaign that tells a story. Now, I don't even need to do that. I just go to Gemini, I ask it, and it will generate for me that particular image in a great way. And by the way, Steve, this is a great opportunity to share with you this. It used to be an issue when you generate an image because the spelling was wrong. The
Yeah.
letters are wrong, the logos are wrong. If I don't know if you tested Gemini yet, but they take your logo as it is with the same letters, with the same spelling, and they can add it to the image perfectly as if you wrote it yourself. For me, in terms of image generation, they are ahead of everybody else, and I am so impressed. And maybe that's the main tool I use them for digital assets, and it is great. What about you, Steve?
This is the war. This is the war. I mean, it's a nano banana
I mean,
pro as we are talking about is
yeah.
something that is dominating. Yeah. And yeah, I'm using like, not myself, but in my team, video editing software. And they
Hmm.
already adopted the Nano Banana Pro, which is Gemini image or stream 2.5 or something, whatever the
Yes, sir.
project name, which was a
Yep.
name before. No, Gemini, as I said, I'm using it like at different pieces, but not necessarily to craft stuff related to business. It's more on the personal side that I'm using it. As I said,
I like it.
Android Auto and other stuff in the house because I have like a lot of IoTs and stuff in my house. But
Yeah.
going in the same line of Grok, which is XAI, developed by XAI, which is also has merged with X, former Twitter. With Grok, I started to use it a few months ago. And the guy is adopting an interesting language. He adopts the language and is very friendly with me with words that Chat nor Gemini are using. So sometimes it could be surprised, but that's okay. And talking about statistics, because I don't have as much experience with Grok, but statistics wise or performance wise or benchmark wise, they are dominating. It is, I mean, I said they are because in the benchmarks, it is dominating at different aspects of the those benchmarks. I didn't look at them yet.
Hmm.
I'm just repeating what I've seen. So I'm not an expert in those benchmarks, but it seemed to be trustable and respected. And Grok is always at the top. I don't know about image generation. Perhaps you know, and perhaps you don't know. So I don't want to say things that I'm not aware of. So did you use Grok or not at all?
I definitely did, Steve. And for me, the best thing that I think Grok can provide currently, in my opinion, based on my experience with it, is financial analysis. So if you have cash flow statement, if you have some budgeting that you need to do, some main investment opportunities, obviously you have to consult with an expert to stay compliant. But it's always a good idea to have a second eye. We all go to Google and search about a company's capitalization, market share,
Yeah.
different numerical values. But if you can simplify those values to an individual that is a non-finance individual, wow, what a win. What a win. So for me, anything that is related to finance, I go to Grok automatically and I just ask it. So what would you say about the performance of company A for the past 3 months? And what would you expect to happen in the future based on the current pipeline, based on everything that's happening, both from the news and their current financial statement that are public in the outside in the marketplace currently? And it will just give me, like, it will go do the search and give me this amazing quick report that I can read or I can listen to. Boom, 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 boom. And sometimes what I do is I use Grok and I then use Gemini, because if you know, in Google Chrome right now there is Gemini in the browser, and I can
Yeah.
just ask Gemini, based on the text that you see currently in this page, is there anything that doesn't make sense? And they will correct each other. And this is how you make AI
It's
compete, my
perfect.
brother.
Yeah. The best of both worlds. So
Yeah.
and no, okay. And what about Claude? I mean, you are a programmer. You have a lot of education about it, a lot of experience about it. You are having some very successful training sessions and courses on the web on different platforms. So congrats for that. About
Thank you. Thank you,
oh,
brother.
it's a very impressive how you can put stuff out there and be that successful. And you're also giving like online sessions about AI in general. So you are an AI trainer, obviously. So Claude for me, I used it through stuff. I used it very slightly, but my perception is it's good with code, like Claude code. It's even like a rhyme, but also it exists. And Claude 4.6 something, Sonnet or something. So can you talk to
Yeah.
us about Claude?
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. In my opinion, Claude is the best coding tool out there in the marketplace 100%. I tested Claude and developed application with Claude from scratch, both the front end, the back end, and interconnectivities of these applications with less than 3 prompts. That's the power of Claude. Claude is really, really good. And not only that, Steve, but it's also, if you give it access to particular folders inside your computer, and I do that all the time using the Claude desktop application, it can do the work for you. Using the folder that you can find in the desktop, make sure to develop the application from scratch, put all the files there, and run it in my browser so I can see how it looks like locally. Done. So the future
Impressive.
yeah, it's impressive, and the future for software development looks really, really interesting because ideas can go to the market quickly. You can do a lot of things quickly, and it used to be an issue in terms of security-wise. I remember we spoke about this in the last few episodes back in the day. Security concerns, generative AI, they're fixing that up, Steve. Now I'm trying to do some security testing. I'm trying to challenge the application security infrastructure, some SQL injections. I'm trying to, attack the application, my own local application, to see how it is. It's holding up strongly, following the best practices. I'm telling you, Steve, anything that is related to technical coding, development, a client, something that I need to do that is code-wise, I don't even look twice, Steve. I go straight to Claude, and they are really, really good. And also the front end itself is beautiful. So even the application front end that requires design, they figured it out, man. It looks amazing.
You convinced
And
me. You convinced me because I wasted. ChatGPT is a general one. I know they have like a GPT or Chat Codex,
yeah,
but it didn't exist at that time. And I was working with my Synology network area system, NAS, and I spent like a full morning, and it was making mistake after mistake after mistake all the time. So I know it's been a while. I need to get back to that, and I kind of give
yeah,
up in trying to work this out. But you know what? With my prototype for my SaaS, my OS that I'm building. I mean the project management OS. This is something that I will give it a try to Claude. Do you have any online courses available to our audience regarding Claude stuff or something related to that security that you built up and you would like to share with our audience where they can find that?
absolutely, Steve. In the publication of this podcast, I will make sure to leave a link for vibe coding. So how to use Claude to develop your application from scratch for non-technical users. It's going to be a great course, and I cannot wait to share it with you, Steve, and our audience. It's going to be one of those courses that will make everybody be like, whoa, this is as simple as that, with few prompts, saving time, and making sure to make anybody who's thinking about an idea just go out there and start dreaming and implementing the idea right away without any technical background. And that's the power of generative AI. Perhaps, Steve, I would love to ask you this question because I was thinking about it in a little bit. I know you are a great entrepreneur and you have so much to offer to the marketplace. If you could give a quick advice to all the new up and coming entrepreneurs in the marketplace that are afraid of generative AI, how would you advise them to jump in with both hands and start working with them? What's the first few steps? As I know, Steve, you always have a clear step-by-step process that helped me, and I know it will help a lot of people out there.
Thanks for asking. I think that, we can assume that everybody listening to this podcast are using it for personal stuff, for general stuff. And maybe some of you guys are asking how I can really use it in my business, how I can benefit from it. I mean, many things. First of all, don't try to apply it to something unstructured. Make sure that you have something structured. What I mean by this is if you want to do some magic with LLMs, it won't be magical if you have something not well structured. Example, with your documentation, it needs to be well structured, either on Google Drive or Microsoft SharePoint, but you need to have something structured. And also, if you are managing and you're planning to implement some AI stuff, you need to select your first project. So you need to be ready to think about, okay, what is my main project? Not too big, not too complex, because big and complex can be different a bit, but something small you can absorb, you can manage, and make sure you're following a method. So if you go on, if you want to go on my website, stevejohnston.co, I'm showing up a methodology which I call the flow shift OS, where you can manage your project in a very nice way and help you to start well. If you need it, if you don't need it, that's okay. But make sure that you're well structured and you are on a great start to be successful because, as you well know, 70% of the digital projects fails and 95% of the AI projects fail. So you can imagine that it doesn't help the other stat. And so you need to be well prepared. And if you want to avoid garbage in, garbage out, prepare yourself with a strong focus.
Absolutely, Steve. Absolutely, Steve. Any last words?
I'd say that this is very interesting. I believe that what we did today in this recording, we'll do it again in 3 months. So I think people should subscribe. We are keeping track of what's happening in the tech world. Obviously, AI is a big trend stuff right now. And we want to inform our people on the system architecture, the training possibilities, and AI in general. And there is a lot of topics to talk about and to help our entrepreneurs, learners, and corporate people who are interested in getting better with AI and tech in general. So we want to make tech work.
Absolutely, Steve. Well said. Thank you so much for the time. And it was a pleasure
Thank you,
having you
everybody.
all.
Thank you, Mo.
Thank you.
Always a great pleasure. And we'll see you soon for another episode.
See you soon. Cheers.
Cheers.